I'm here today at the University of Minnesota, and I'm talking to people about truth and sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ. Let's check it out. You ready? How do you know something is true? How do you know truth? How do you know something's true? Is there anything you know to be like true? Or is there anything you're certain about in life?
I don't know if I believe in an absolute truth. I do think that there are things that can be true when you see them and feel them, but I also do think that there are things that we'll never be able to see and feel that are true as well. So I think that there's maybe somewhere in between where sometimes you can rationalize it and sometimes you can have faith and believe that something is true or real.
I feel like the majority of what people think, like that's what you believe to be true, but in reality it's your life, so you can choose what you want to be true.
I think if you put your mind to it, you can make it happen, regardless of what it is.
Yeah, for me, there's definitely things that are factual, and then there's definitely things that someone would believe that is true to them versus someone else that would believe something else that is true to them. So whatever you believe is true is just taking it into perspective and like trying to look at it like from different perspectives, gain analysis, and try and deepen your understanding of that like topic or subject, whatever you're trying to look at, that kind of thing.
I feel like it matters like what's pragmatic and what's productive for you. So if something like whether or not it's absolute or not, can't like you said can't be defined, it just can't be proved, it can't be defined. But there are some things that like if you go about it in a certain way, it's the most like productive and pragmatic way to like approach it. So for example, I was like starting with talking about like balance. I feel like balance is like something I noticed in my life. It's like a theme that keeps on coming back. It's almost like a tide, it pushes and pulls. And it's like really necessary for me to have in my life. And like anytime you try to arrest like an emotion or anything for longer than it should be, you just like you mess up the rhythm of what it's like supposed to be like. So I don't know. In that sense, like yes, but there's really I don't know. It's all like relative, you know.
For me, I'm a Christian, so I think that there is, in a sense, a truth. For me, the Bible's the truth. But besides that, I think you don't have to have it to know. I think everyone kind of knows in them whether something's good or bad.
Like, for example, like that light bulb over there, I could call it a splorg because I want to call it a splorg. And that's what I think is true. That's my point.
So that's like truth in like describing it, but like the object itself, right? The nature of it is still the same. So like if you want it to be a banana, you're not gonna be able to go over there and like eat it.
By true, do you mean good?
Well, I would say the truth is good. Like
The truth.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I guess so.
What if my truth is like, you're in my way and I want to kill you so you're not in my way anymore? Like, so because truth needs to be good. Like the truth is good, and so sometimes when we create our own truth, it's not always good. And so there are things that are like foundationally true, I guess is maybe a way to say it.
I think if someone, in the shortest response possible, if someone were to decide for themselves if they thought something was true or not, I think if they thought if it was going to impact others in any negative way, if it could ever end up hurting other people, then that's not like the true way behind things. That's not the way it should be. And I think if you're trying to find the truth and the way things should be, or I don't know, what is the truth? But I think it's definitely going to be alongside helping people, and yeah. Big question.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, I would say that like that feeling inside, that would be your conscience, right? Your conscience is what kind of directs you and guides you. But I would also say we have to be careful, because our consciences can be misinformed. Like, what if for me the truth was like, I need to go kill people who don't believe what I believe? Like, that seems good to me. Like, it doesn't mean it's true just because like I want it to be. Or so I think you're on the right track, and like, yeah, there's something you know you can know is good, and you can tell like, okay, this is helping people, but there is a way that you can be misled in that as well, where you think something is helping but it's actually hurting. Do you guys think there's an afterlife? Do you all think there's an afterlife?
It goes back to one of those like it's like the question of like whether or not it's pragmatic to think about it that way. Because like, what does it matter? I mean, like, maybe it changes like how you like approach life, because like you want good fortune and that kind of thing in the afterlife. But I feel like, I don't know, it's like one of those questions that you won't get an answer to until it's it's time for it. Like, I don't know, pondering about it, it's just kind of a waste of time and energy.
I do.
I don't know.
I don't necessarily think there is. If there is, maybe it's like I believe that I would rather believe in reincarnation before I believe in afterlife.
It's hard to prove anything, but like, if you have personal opinions, like I feel like there's reincarnation, or sometimes like maybe your view, or like, this is so hard to describe, but I just feel like you might be born into another life, or like you go through something else. I'd like to believe that, but then again, I can't prove anything.
So like, but you're not conscious of any other life you've ever had, right?
No,
So like,
so I can't prove anything, but I would like to believe.
why reincarnation? How would you come to that?
I mean, like gaining perspective, like everyone is one, like everything is alive. Like, I don't know, like people can make up whatever they want about reincarnation. I think it's more something to do with just like gaining perspective and like trying to like understand what is life in itself.
So life is kind of like this process of learning, and then okay.
Whether or not you want to accept it, there's just like, you're tethered to like this life, and like there are repercussions for everything that you do every single day. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, am I really gonna like? I can ignore it. I can pretend like it's not there, but it totally is. And that's just the fact of life.
Sounds like that's a truth.
Yeah, it's like
When I was in college and everything, I was like, well, this is what I like doing. I think I like these things. I'm gonna do them, but I didn't think about the why behind it. Like, why do I wanna go take this major or get this job or anything like that? And then it was shortly after college, I broke my back in a motocross accident. I had a near-death experience. Like, I wasn't always paralyzed. I was in a motocross accident. You can see I'm in a wheelchair. I was in a motocross accident and almost died. Went off a jump, crashed. Another guy was right behind me, couldn't get out of the way, smashed into me. Paralyzed instantly. Like, was airlifted to the hospital, and the doctor said, you might not make it through the surgery. And so I came right up to the edge of like life and death and really confronted that. And so waking up from that and thinking about it, I'm like, man, I almost just died, and at that point in my life, I was an atheist, I was a drug addict and an alcoholic and a thief and like everything you can imagine, and a lot of those earthly consequences that you're talking about, like I dealt with that. I was depressed and anxious. I had panic attacks so often, like it was crazy. I would go to the hospital thinking I was dying because I was having a panic attack. And so like I looked at my life and I'm like, this is not the way it's supposed to be. So I think it's really important for us to think about these things, because we can die just like that, like any of us at any moment. What happened for me, actually, I ended up reading the Bible. Like I was an atheist. I like made fun of people who believed in God all the time, and I was all about that. But yeah, I just was like, you know what, I'll see what it says for myself. I had this really crazy encounter with Jesus in a dream, and he showed me things that hadn't happened yet, and then they happened. In the dream, I was like reliving all the bad things I'd done and the ways I'd hurt people and stuff, and it was like I was on trial being accused of all these things. I was guilty, I knew I was guilty, and I wasn't getting out of it, and so I felt very trapped. But then all of a sudden I appeared in this peaceful garden area, and I saw a gravestone with the Celtic cross on top and a bright light. And in the dream, for some reason, I just went up to it. I'm like, okay, God, I give up. I need the help of Jesus Christ. And the very instant I said his name, the guilt I had just vanished. It was like I still knew what I had done, but I was just free from it. And I woke up and I'm like, what was that? Like, that was crazy, you know? And it was 4 a.m. and I couldn't really sleep, so I just went to the Bible and started reading right where I'd left off. Well, the very first thing I read was this passage: "For God speaks in one way and in two, though man does not perceive it. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on men while they slumber on their beds.
Well, there you go.
Then he opens the ears of men and terrifies them with warnings, that he may conceal pride from a man. He keeps back his soul from the pit, his life from perishing by the sword." Later that day, I found out it was the 1-year anniversary of my grandpa's death. And then the exact time that he passed away was the exact time I woke up from my dream, like all these weird things. And then I hadn't been to his gravesite yet, but I went that day, and the Celtic cross from my dream was on his gravestone, and I'd never seen it before except in that dream. So I was like, whoa, this is crazy, this is real, and it like transformed my life, guys. I've been sober ever since. I started actually caring about other people and things like that, and I've had joy and peace in my life for the first time in a very long time. And so I started finding like real friends, and I had never had like true friends. I just had people I like did stuff with and whatever. What? Yeah, there's like when you know you have like actual friends that care about you and like are gonna like push you in the right direction and stuff. It's really cool. So I mean, it totally changed my life. And then through that I just started, you know, I kept reading the Bible, and there it gives all these answers about like life and death and what's gonna happen to us. And like when you read through the whole thing, it gives you this crazy perspective that I at least never had before, and this understanding it just like opens your eyes, and you're like, whoa, like that actually makes sense, and it explains things so well, and and then you start experiencing it in your life, and you're like, man, this is true. And I realized that I needed him in order to free me from the sinfulness of the world. So in the beginning, God created this perfect world, but we disobeyed him because we wanted to be our own gods. We wanted to choose what we thought was the right way, and it ended up bringing sin into the world, and that broke apart our relationship with God. That's why there's like disease and sickness and hatred and all these things in the world, and it separates us from God, because God he exists in this perfect place, and there can't be any corruption there at all, and so it separates us from God, and there's nothing we can really do to overcome that, but God wants this relationship with us, so he sent his son Jesus to bring us back to him so we could restore that relationship. He came and he offered up a perfect sacrifice of love to the Father, and through that it restores that relationship that we have with God, and it sets us free from the sinfulness, and we get a new heart, we get new desires, and all we have to do is believe in him and accept him, because it's about relationship. God is a personal being. He wants to have an actual relationship with us, and so but if we reject that love, if we reject it in this life, then there is a point where we can be separated from God. That's what hell is. It's a total separation from God. It's not like he wants to punish people and all of this. It's we just choose to turn away from him and the relationship that he wants with us. Say you were in court, right, and you were charged for stealing a car or something, right, and the judge is like, well, you're guilty, I'm going to throw you in prison for 30 years. That's a lot for stealing a car, but just hypothetically, and you were like, well, Judge, I brought groceries to my neighbor, and I did all these good things, just let me off the hook. And he's like, you still committed the crime, you're still guilty of that. But imagine someone came and was like, hey, I'm going to pay your bail, I'm going to pay the ransom. The judge has the legal right then to let you go free, right? And so that's kind of like a way of looking at what Jesus did. He came and he paid the debt for us by dying for us. And that sets us free, and we're free from that sin now, and we're free to live in that way, and then it restores that relationship with God, and we're able to communicate with him then, and we would know that we're his children then. And when you know that, when you know you're cared for regardless of what happens, you don't have fear anymore. Your fear is gone. You can live, you don't have to fear what anyone will do to you, because it's man, even if someone kills me, I know what's gonna happen, right? And I just found that so freeing and amazing, and I want to share that with people, because this life really is amazing, and it can be. And when we get isolated and are just caught up in the daily anxieties and things, it can really help make us forget that, and make us forget about the bigger things. And there is this God. I'm telling you, he's real. I've experienced him. He's real, and it doesn't take anything on our effort to have this relationship with him, but if we don't have it, then we're stuck with ourselves, trying to figure it out ourselves. And it sounds crazy, but if you just ask him, if you just sit one day and pray and say God, if you're real, just please reveal yourself to me, because I want to know this. If this is true, this is important, and I believe he will,
and wait for him.
Yeah, wait. It might not be a voice from heaven right at the moment you say that, but he knows your own personality. He knows your own. See, we're made in the image of God, and he created us. He knows everything about us, even how many hairs are on your head, the Bible says, and so he knows how your mind works, how your thought process works, all of that stuff, and he'll work through the people you encounter, the thoughts you're having, the situations, if you just pay attention and listen. And it's really an amazing thing. I guess that's just why I've been talking to people and stuff.
Well, thank you. That's something for us to think about on our way home.
Will you guys think about these things and consider them a little bit?
Yeah.
Cool.
Always things to think about, I guess.
And I appreciate you guys taking the time to chat and stuff. I mean, it's cool talking with you guys, and I appreciate your openness, and yeah, no, willing to listen to me and willing to share your thoughts and stuff too.
Of course.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, we're gonna catch this on as this drop.
Oh yeah, for sure, guys. Have a good day.
Alright, well,
Yeah,
take
yeah.
care.
Hey y'all, if you liked that video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and feel free to share it with others too. Thank you again for watching. I truly do appreciate all your support.